Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Headley Headspaces. The Headspaces are a series of thoughts and musings I have during the course of the week, and I chew all over them and I share them with you. And this week's Headspace is called, or this particular Headspace is called, US-UK Trade Deal. Is it actually a trade deal? Or not? Now, before I jump into this week's Headspace, or that particular Headspace, I'd like to say thank you to all my listeners and all the people who've been coming to my show and supporting me over the last few years, but also to all the new subscribers who jumped up into my YouTube channel, which is called DeniseHeadley.com. I'm trying to get to 1,500 subscribers. I have 1,182 subscribers, and I'd like to get to 1,194 subscribers, hopefully by the next show, and possibly move into 1,200 by the next time you listen to one of my contributions. My Headspaces are part of my Friday night political live talk show called The Headley Highlight Show. The Headley Highlight Show features every Friday on X, and it's live, and you can join also. You can like, retweet and share the space if you're not sharing it on YouTube or TikTok, or you can jump over to my website where I accept fiat and also cryptocurrencies, and you could potentially sponsor 3 Wings and Chips and a Miranda, or you may wish to sponsor how about fish and chips and mushy peas at my local fish and chip shop? Any of the above is mostly appreciated. Now let me jump back all over this Headspace now that I've done that preamble. And I called the Headspace US-UK Trade Deal. Is it actually a trade deal? Or not? Now, the US-UK trade deal made massive headlines today, and we heard from our less than enthusiastic, somewhat oleaginous, oily Prime Minister Keir Starmer announcing his success.
A few moments ago, I spoke to President Trump, the President of the United States, and I'm really pleased to announce to you, and I wanted to come to you to announce it, that we've agreed the basis of a historic economic prosperity deal. And that is a deal that will protect British businesses and save thousands of jobs in Britain. Really important, skilled, well-paid jobs. It will remove tariffs on British steel and aluminium, reducing them to zero. It will provide vital assurances for our life sciences sector, so important to our economy, and grant unprecedented market access for British farmers without compromising our high standards. And for the great British cars that you make here, that we see all around us, this deal means that the US tariffs will now be cut from 27.5% down to 10% for 100,000 vehicles every year. That's a huge and important reduction.
Now, when I heard that we have got a trade deal with America, I thought to myself, thinking critically as I do about most things, this sounded a little suspect, because a trade deal isn't something that you can agree upon within a 4-week, 5-week turnaround time. I remembered that Obama, when he came here, angered the then Conservative government under Boris Johnson when he said that Britain is at the back of the queue for a trade deal. So when I heard Keir Starmer say what he said, I thought to myself, this doesn't sound too right. And then I dug a little deeper. Enter stage left, President Trump.
There won't be any red tape. Things are going to move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up in the coming weeks. We'll have it all very conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think just about everything's been approved. So good for both countries. There won't be any red tape. Things are going to move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up in the coming weeks.
So there won't be any red tape, and the final details are going to be written up in the coming weeks. Does that sound like there is a trade deal to you? Because it certainly doesn't sound like there's a trade deal to me. It sounds like we had a exercise in the pantomime machine. We were shown the actors having a conversation about something that was to come that's not quite yet finalized. So effectively, it's not actually a trade deal. It's a framework. That, in my opinion, is not going to be significantly impactful. The UK is the US 11th largest trading partner, and they account for only 3% of US trade. And based on my own research, a trade deal is something that takes several years to negotiate. I mean, haven't we supposed to have negotiated a trade deal with India? Have you seen the detail on that? Haven't we got a trade deal with Australia? Have you seen the details on that? Are you feeling the significance of these trade deals, those previous ones I've mentioned? Or are they just like the rest of the news fodder, just going in one ear and coming out the other? Because it makes no difference to our day-to-day life whether or not there's a trade deal in place with someone like America. It might be felt in the business sector, but the ordinary people, how impactful is it on us? And like I said, this isn't a trade deal. Most trade deals, most bilateral trade deals, take between 1 to 5 years to negotiate. If it's a multilateral trade deal with more than one country, that's something like 5 to 10 years. And you need to have significantly experienced people at the table so that you get the right deal. Look, we had negotiators for Brexit. Do you see the deal we got? Was it a good one? Does that give you confidence for those going forward doing this deal or any subsequent deals? And the short answer is no. You can, as I understand it, have an interim or limited trade deal, but these also take 6 months to 2 years. This has been 4 or 5 weeks. This is a PR scam, people. This is a few things agreed on a piece of A4 paper. Then we have the theatrics of the telephone call, and suddenly we've moved into a new era of negotiation. I don't think so. Think about our exit from the European Union. How difficult that was. Even to this day, we are still embroiled in many of the legislative structures or the laws that they applied because they were embodied in UK statute. So you also have to have a trade deal ratified by Parliament. So there is no trade deal, people. This is a farce. You probably have some agreements in principle, but you cannot go around calling it a trade deal. And this is the reason why I'm calling out Keir Starmer, the granny hammer, because he has just gone onto television and told everyone we have a trade deal, when in fact what we have is possibly an agreement in principle and, a few areas of commonality. But that doesn't constitute a trade deal. A trade deal impacts on international law, local customs and practices, local food standards, industry standards. All these things need to be discussed and chewed over. And a 4-week lead time just doesn't do that. So in summation to the announcement, I think it's fake news. I think some agreements have been reached. But do they constitute what you and I would recognize as a trade deal? I don't think so. And once the detail is released, as my dad always says, the devil is in the detail. And I think after closer scrutiny, we'll see things are not exactly as they were presented. So what do you think about this whole situation with the trade deal? Given what I just said, do you think it's a genuine exercise, or do you think it's more likely, given the importance and the areas that trade deals have to cover, especially sensitive industries, data protection, security, maintaining in local standards? Do you think they did that in the last 5 weeks? Jump up on the podium, give me your 2 pence, your free cedis, or your declining dollar price. Don't forget to jump all over the YouTube and become a subscriber. Hit the notification so that every time I upload something, you'll get it fresh straight for your For You page. And also, don't forget, make a donation at denisehedley.com. Get me free wings and chips. Get me fish and chips in my local chip shop, or you might want to sponsor a bottle of Prosecco or a new PC, because this one is pretty clapped out. Anyway, thanks for listening, and see you next week. Like, retweet, share, and move independent media up into the stratosphere. And cut.